Yeah, guys. So you're searching for the yesterday's recording, right? So yesterday's recording, yeah, go to our session 4. It is there. Yeah, Raghu, did you find yesterday's session? Yeah, it is there. Yesterday's. Yeah, Purnima. Just you can search for just a bow button. This is the channel name. Okay, right. Okay, guys, let's continue. And of course, yesterday also what we have discussed, no need to worry. So we didn't discuss very advanced topics, so very basic things only, like what are the data types. Bit in detail, we have discussed data types and each data type size and default values that would be presented in the data types that we have discussed, and we have seen how do we write literals or constant values for the data types, or how do we store values into data type variables. Means how do we create variables using different data types, and into that variables how we are assigning the values, storing the values. So in simple terms, what we can say, this is the way how to store a value into a variable. But technically, how do we refer this? Storing a value like this into a variable, we call as assigning a value. So for the key terminology, we need to understand assignment or variable value assignment. Value assignment is what? Storing some value into a variable is called assignment. Is called assignment. Means you have created a variable like this. What we can say? Example, what we can say? Int student marks. Variable we have. Instead of writing simply marks, it's better to write student marks. Completely descriptive name we should give. Int student marks. This is what we call this as. It is nothing but declaring a variable, or in this is technically we call it as declaring a variable. Declare a variable into student marks. In general words, what we can say, creating a variable. That means what internally what happens, what it will do internally, system will, whenever system is reading this statement, here two parts are there. Here two parts are there. What are that? One is int and then student marks. So what it will do, int means in Java, the meaning of int is what? 4 bytes. That means allocate 4 bytes of memory in the runtime. So int means int specifies the JVM, specifies the JVM to allocate 4 bytes of memory, memory, and student marks specifies name that allocated memory as student marks. So that means what? As a certain part of memory in your machine has been allocated with a block size of 4 bytes, with a block size of 4 bytes. After allocating that memory in within the system, do we have only 4 bytes of memory? No, right? We'll be having so many bytes of memory. It would be typically it would be GBs of memory in your system during the runtime. Means here memory is nothing but your RAM, the runtime memory only, not the hard disk. Again, don't go for hard disk. It is always GBs only. Why? So far we have our machines with the GBs RAM only, not still not grown to TBs in the RAM. Okay. And so within the GBs, 4 bytes, if you have 8 GB system, 8 GB RAM system, within the RAM, 8 GB, some memory will be occupied by your JVM. Under your JVM control, 4 bytes of memory will be reserved for your program variable, and that memory location will be given a name as student marks. If you write it as X, the memory block will be named as X temporarily until your program runs. That memory location will be accessed with the name given as student marks. Is it clear, guys, what is happening when we are writing the statement in your machine or under your JVM control? Yes, Shishir, Purnima, Sai. Yeah, good. So now this is what we are doing. We are declaring a variable or creating a variable. During creation of variable, two things happen. First, allocate the memory the of specified size based on the data type. If it is Boolean, then only 1 bit memory will be reserved. If it is char, so 2 bytes of memory will be reserved, like this. And whatever memory that has been reserved, and that will be uh, named with the given identifier. This names we can call as identifiers. Why? Because these names we are using to identify this allocated memory, right? So identifiers, we are referring that as identifier. So identifiers are nothing but variable names. So all these are language basis. The terminology try to remember, guys. Identifier, variable declaration, variable uh, declaration, variable identifiers, these things. Now the actual concept what I wanted to make you understand is initialization. Means here assignment, right? So assignment is what? Storing some value into variable called assignment, right? So we have reserved a memory of 4 bytes. That memory is identified by the name student marks. So we should use student marks, and then equal to is the assignment operator. That what it will do, the right side value whatever we have mentioned, this value we call it as literal. Hmm? The value whichever we have written, that we call it as literal in programming languages. So literal means a fixed value. This value we are uh, trying to store into this variable memory that has been identified by this variable name, right? So equal to assigns or stores the right side value or assigns the value into this memory location or the memory location identified by this name. So this is what we call as uh, value assignment or variable value assignment. In short, simply assignment. Variable value assignment. Is it clear what is variable value assignment? variables. It's clear, right, guys? Yeah. Now, one more thing. So, if I do here again, student marks equals to 83. Now, what is this? So, what we are doing here, or what do we call this? It's also nothing but same. We are changing the value, or we are storing some value into the variable, right? Hmm? Into student marks, we are saying 83. Now what happens? Earlier we have given 78. 78 was there in the memory. No, it is something like you can think of writing values on a white paper using pencil. Initially you have written a value like a 78. Now you are erasing that 78 and writing 83. That means 83 is going to replace the 78 under the memory location which has been identified by student marks. Clear? On white paper you can erase and you can write any number of times, right? The new values. Similarly, in your system memory also, you can store value and change value in that memory any number of times. Is it clear, guys? Hmm? So again, if I write student marks equals to 69. Now, what is this? This also same variable value assignment. Yeah, don't no need to hesitate or no need to feel shy. Just speak. I'm asking very basic things. Whatever I said again, I wanted to make you to repeat it. That's it. Hmm? Why? Because we are learning very basics. So we should speak and we should repeat several times. Then only we can remember what we are doing and we understand what we are doing. So tomorrow when we are working, your leader, your colleague may ask that, yeah, just assign value to that variable. Then you should know, right, what is assign means. Hmm? So that's why I wanted to make you speak. Assign means storing some value. Now, once creating the variable and later storing values into a variable we call as assignment. And here, hmm, yes, yes. Oh no, erasing the new value, sorry, the old value and writing new value. Just like using a small piece of paper is there, on that you are writing the values with pencil. So then what you do on that, you are erasing the previous value and writing the newer value. Like that it goes all the times. With all the threes. Then we should take three pieces of paper. Hmm? That means three different variables we should take. Now, student marks equals to 56 if I write here. So now, here what I'm doing is at the time of creating the variable itself, in the same statement, I have stored a value 56 into this student marks, right? This one we call as initialization. This one we call as initialization variable creation and initializing the variable. Means initial value. We are giving our initial value 56 to this variable, or we are storing our initial value 56 into this variable. So for the first time, when we are storing initially some value into a variable, then we call it as initialization. So here we can say a long value equals to 456 L. If I write like this, then we call this as means as soon as I'm creating the variable and uh, at this moment, what will be there? Assume that if I don't write like this, now what is there? What will be there in this value variable? Hmm? In Java, we'll be having default values. Guys, Raghu, Sai, what do we have? Default values. No, got. So what is the default value that we'll be having? 0 we have, right? Hmm, that default value in C or C++, some garbage value will be there, but you can forget about that C or C++. Just default value 0 will be there. That we are initializing with some value like 456 like this. But whenever we are required to place a long value, then we should suffix it with L. The long literals should be suffixed with L. We have to write. Otherwise, it will take us a normal int value. If it is int, we don't require to suffix anything. IR kind of things we don't require. But for long, it is required. L should be suffixed. So here we have created a variable and we are uh, giving some initial value to that variable or storing some initial value into the variable memory location which is identified by value. So in this case it is called what? It is variable initialization. Variable initialization, initializing the variable value. Right. So first time, if you store a value into a variable after its declaration or after its creation, we call it as initialization. And later, when you say 765 or 7654 L, then even a small letter also you can write. But if I write a small letter, it would be confusing whether it is L or 1. See, both are looking same only, right? That's why what is recommendation, right? Uppercase L. That is recommended. Java JVM can understand whether you write a small L or capital L. Both JVM can understand, there won't be problem. But when we are looking at the code, we might be reading it as 76,541. What it is exactly? 76,541 or 7,654? It is confusing, right? So to avoid that, to improve the readability of your code, make use of uppercase L for long literals. Long literals. These are literal value. Long literal value. It is int literal value. Int literal value doesn't require any suffix. Like this we need to write. So already you have initialized the value with 456. Now you are replacing that 456 by 7,654 second time, right? So you are storing a second value into the same variable. In this one, we can say variable assignment. Clear? What is initialization? What is assignment? And what is variable exactly? And what is variable declaration or creation exactly? Is it clear, guys? Now, Shishir, did you get? Did you get the point? Cool. So now, so in Java, based on the context where we are creating these variables, we have three types of variables. Types of variables we have in Java. Types of variables means based not based on the data type. So based on the data types means here we have like 8 types we have. So 8 types of variables we are creating. But based on the place where we are declaring our variable, we have hmm, three different types. So in Java, based on the place or location in our program where we are creating variables or three types. Three types. So what are that? You can say local variables. Second one, instance variables. So all these are very important things, guys. So whatever I am writing, you should try to remember it. You can by heart and you can remember whatever words I am writing. All try to remember. Why? Because you need to speak Java when you are working or when you are working on Java development and not as the English. Here. So here purely we are learning a language and static variables. Static variables. Yeah, here these static variables, in other words, we can call as class variables also. Class variables also. In this way, we'll write. So, what are local variables? Now coming to local variables, what we can say, local variables. The local variables are nothing but the variables which we have created inside a method. The variables which we have created inside a method are called local variables, or the variables which we have created inside a block are called local variables. So inside a method or inside a block, if we create a variable, here blocks are nothing but like we are writing if statements, means if blocks, for blocks, while blocks, right? Or switch case blocks. Inside that, if you declare any variable, then we call it as a local variable. So how can we define here local variables? A variable declared, a variable declared or created inside a block of a method. Method is nothing but function, like our main function or any other user defined functions. In later sessions, we'll be seeing the functions. Okay, methods. Uh, in a block of a method or a control statement block. This control statements blocks means what? What are control statements? Like if conditions or if else conditions or while loops or for loops, these are called control statements. So inside that also you may declare the variables. So such variables we call as local variables. Is called local variable. Clear, guys? What is a local variable? And example, anywhere example is same, this only, like int student marks or long value or long value, or uh, student gender m, or like that, whatever we write that. Next, instance variable. Instance variable, what we can say, a variable declared declared inside a class but not inside of any method block is called instance variable. So as of now, you just remember this statement or definition, whatever I have given. You remember this. Later, when we are discussing about OOPS concepts, object-oriented programming concepts, then you can see instance variables really how we are creating. Of course, here also I can show you, but the clear understanding you will get when we are discussing groups concepts. Till then, you should try to uh, what you can do. You can by heart this statement and remember this statement. But try to understand what exactly it is right now. You can understand later when I am explaining groups concepts. But now, what you can understand, what is local variable, that you can understand. Why? Because already we are defining the main method, right? So that you can understand whatever variables we have declared yesterday in our yesterday demo program. All these are where we have created inside main method, right? Inside main method body. So all these are local variables. If I declare the same things inside class, outside the method, here under the class directly, if I declare like this, now I can say these are instance variables. But what are instance variables? What is it exactly? That I will tell, means I will explain you when we are dealing with OOPS concepts. So until that, we just remember variables which have been declared under class, not within any method, are called instance variables. Next, other type of variables that we have are static variables. So what are static variables? Static variables are a variable declared inside a class but with a keyword static. But with a keyword static is called static variable. And the static variables is also known as class variables. Why do we call this as class variables? All this we'll be understanding when we are discussing about static variables in detail in further sessions. Till then, you just try to remember the statement. Okay. So if you want to create a static variable, how should you create the static variable? You need to create the variable inside the class, not inside the method. It should be declared inside the class, but this should be associated with the keyword static or prefixed with the keyword static. Static int marks, like this. About a static keyword, we have one complete session discussion. So until that, we just remember like static variables are nothing but creating with the static keyword outside of the method or inside of a class. That only you just remember right now. But in detail, there is a big story about the static. Why see here already, we can see before main also we have kept static, right? So we have a lots of story here about the static that we'll be understanding later. Right now, you just try to remember it. That's it. That's it. So within these three types, so you are, as of now, you can try to understand what is local variables and what are instance variables and static variables. Just try to remember the statements what I have given as of now. Understanding you will get when we are going further in our other uh, sessions. Okay, is it clear, guys? Yes. Hmm. Yes. To summarize, that is the simple summary about variables, variable types, instance and uh, looks like same, but there is a lot of difference. That's why I said there is a big story about static keyword that we'll discuss almost in two sessions. We would be discussing about static. As of now, you just remember the statements. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, guys, otherwise we also understood, right? Yeah, Raghu. Yeah. Now about variables, again some other concepts what we have, like typecasting. What we have, typecasting, typecasting. So typecasting means what? It's nothing but changing a type of value into another type of value can be changed into another. So here a type means what? Okay, let's make it more clear. Data type. Data type of a value into another. So that means what? We might be changing the value of int into long, or we might be changing the value of a float into double, or float into int, or float into long, like this, or long into int. Hmm? So like this. So one type of value could be changed into another type of value. So such type data type conversion is called typecasting. So in simple words, what we can say, typecasting is nothing but data type conversion. So example, you can say, oh, okay. And again, this typecasting is done in two ways. Typecasting can be done in two ways. What are that? Is implicit typecasting, and other way is explicit typecasting. Explicit typecasting. So here by the name itself we can understand. Implicit means what? Automatically JVM itself internally it will do without our instructions. We don't require to give instruction for conversion of the data from one data type to another type. Such typecasting we call it as implicit typecasting. So what we can say, typecasting is done by JVM automatically without any special instructions given by programmer. It's called implicit typecasting. Implicit typecasting. And when it happens while try to store a smaller data type value into a bigger or larger data type variable. Data type variables. Example, what we can show here as, let us say I have int x or simply int I equals to 45. Now what we can do, long L I have, if I write like this, if I try to store the value presented in I into L, then it will be automatically here 45 we have stored in which format of data type, int data type, means 2 bytes representation value. But now here in this statement what we are doing, int type representation value 45 we are trying to store in long value, means long means it is how many bytes. We have long 8 bytes, right? Sorry, int 4 bytes and long 8 bytes, right? So obviously 4 bytes value can be stored into 8 bytes or not. Obviously we can store, there won't be any problem. That's why JVM automatically will convert that 4 bytes format representation into 8 bytes representation, that is int data type format to long data type format. This is what we call here. What is happening here? Here implicit typecasting happens. Here what happens? Implicit typecasting happens. Is it clear, guys? Yeah, guys. What is typecasting and types of two types of typecasting and implicit typecasting? Is it clear? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So smaller data type to larger data type values, means if we try to store smaller data type variable value into larger data type variable, then what happens in that statement? Implicit typecasting. Okay. Now explicit typecasting. Explicit typecasting, how you can define? Here, this typecasting is done by JVM with some instructions or with some proper instructions given by the programmer. Programmer is called explicit typecasting. Means as the programmer, specify we have to specify the typecasting to be performed in that particular statement. The when it is required while we try to store a larger data type value into smaller data type variable. So example, you can think about this example, right? What we can write, long L equals to 45. But when we are writing literals, we should suffix L for the long literals. And that int I equals to L. Like this we need to write. But if we write like this, here we don't have given, we didn't given any special instruction here. So what is that special instruction that we need to mention here as a programmer? We have to say this L value should be converted into int or represented into int using this parenthesis before the in front of the variable larger data type variable. We have to place the target data type value, smaller data type value to which we wanted to convert. Even what is the smaller data type of smaller data type than int? We have byte, right? Even byte also we can use, right? So 1 byte means 8 bits. So in 8 bits 45 we can store. So there we can write byte b equals to I, we can write, but directly we can't write like this. So we should write the target data type to which this I value should be converted. So these are called explicit typecasting. Here what we are doing, explicit typecasting. Why we are calling it as explicit typecasting? From larger data type to smaller data type. Here also the same thing we are doing, from larger data type to smaller data type we are doing, right? But here implicit typecasting happens. Why? Here smaller data type to larger data type. Yeah, guys, all these notes, whatever I'm typing, that are required to be remembered by you guys, right? Why? Because you should speak these terms when you are working on Java. So just to think of this as we are learning Java language, new language, just like how you learned your English. In the similar way, you need to learn all these basics. But in English, we might not require any logic to be implemented. But here we need logical skills also to make computer to work. So the typecasting, is it clear, guys? What is implicit typecasting? What is explicit typecasting? And what are different types of variables? Now, now let us write a simple program and see, experiment all this typecastings and how it goes. Okay, typecasting. Let us write a new program, class typecasting demo. Try to give proper names. Naming conventions or the naming standards are very important. Don't give like program 1, program 2 like that. Always try to give appropriate names to your programs. Public static void main string LGS, and this square brackets you can place where you can place after the args or after the string, either place, any one place you can keep, both are same. Okay, either way you can place it. Now here what we can write, we can do this int I and so so instead of typing, what is preferable? Copy your class name, now save it. Of Java and save as type as all files, all the files. Now we have got it. Now let us try to print. Always it is a Java is case sensitive language. So capital letters you should write as capital only and small letters you should write as small only. So here S is capital in a string and in system also. System dot out dot println. Out dot println are completely small letters. I can print the I value. I can print the long value. I can print byte value. Right. To print anything on our console, what we need to use system.out.println. Now, if I try to compile it, what happens? Let us see. Open console. So, what should we do first of all whenever we are opening command prompt? First, we need to do what? Yeah, set path. Very good. As of now, set path. Whenever we are opening a new console or command prompt, we need to set the path to where to JDK bin, right? Program files where our JDK bin is presented in program files, Java JDK bin. Just click on, just type the first letter and press tab. It will give complete name. Path has been set. Now we need to move to our location. So E drive, in E drive, CD. How to move using CD? Change directory. Online training, OFS, or Java, JB 8 2021. Now Java. What is the command now? Java. Java C. Yeah, very good. Typecasting demo.java. So now what happened? Given so many errors, it is saying that sorry, I cannot understand, or you are violating the rules. See, so many errors have come, but don't worry. There might be 100 errors. No need to worry. Our Java compiler will give you clear information about what went wrong in your code, including your program name, file name, and the line numbers. It will give clearly. So if you read these error messages, you can resolve the error easily. But without looking at this error messages, simply just immediately don't jump into your code and look for what is the wrong. Don't try to find the error by yourself. Try to take the help of your compiler. Okay, it is saying, see, on line number 5, error variable L is already defined in method main long L 45. So on line number 5, long L we have declared, but it is saying already declared, right? Why? If we say on line number 4, already L is there. Again, you are redeclaring. That means what? The duplicate names are not allowed for variables. Already one name you have given, like I or L. Again, the same name for another variable. If you write a long every time, that means what? Allocate 8 bytes and create a variable. Here also allocate 8 bytes, create a variable, give the variable name as long L, and here also the same meaning. So give some different name, like you can say L2. You can say L2. Like this, you can write it. And in the similar way, here I value also I2. Okay. Why? Because already I is there, right? It is saying about that I also you see. On Java line number 6, I is there. Variable I is already defined in the method main, right? Next, what else it is saying? System.out.println. Here, SYS, this package system does not exist. So here I have written SYSY, right? System spelling mistake was there. So like this, when now you can compile, it will compile clearly, right? I've got how we should resolve the errors when we are working. Now, how to run the program? Now tell me. Java typecasting demo without any extension. No dot class or no dot Java. Only class name we should give. Enter. So like this. Everywhere we have 45 only we are storing, right? That's why it has taken. Clear? How we should. So today we understood what are variables, what are data types, what are variables initialization, variables assignment, and then typecasting, different types of variables like local variables, instance variables, static variables, and the typecasting. What is typecasting? What is types of typecasting? Implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. So these points are clear, right, guys? So I'll upload the video. You can watch or you can refer once again if you want. And try to practice all the programs daily whenever, whatever programs I am giving. As of now, I will give you exercises later. For that, we need some more understanding and some more practice. So only it's enough as of now. It's enough to do whatever programs I am demonstrating in the class, that are enough. If you want to do similar programs extra by your own, okay, that's appreciated. You can do that also. But whatever programs I'm writing and I'm demonstrating to you, that you try to do and complete, that also enough. Okay, okay, guys. Bye. Let's pause here. Continue tomorrow. Bye. Have a nice day. Good night, Shishir. You're welcome. You're welcome.